Today's dish is my attempt at making birria tacos, and the ingredients I'm going to be using is some chipotle in adobo sauce, some thyme, some oregano, some ground cumin. I have peppercorns, a cinnamon stick, and 3 bay leaves. I've got some ancho chilies and some guajillo chilies, which I have seeded, and I'll show you how I left one to show you how I deseeded it. I also have some tomatoes, onions, carrots, garlic, lime, and cilantro to garnish the tomatoes later. Got some chicken bouillon powder, kosher salt, honey, white vinegar, pepper, and the star of the show, of course, are the meats, which I'm using chuck roast that I had in my freezer, and then I've got some goat meat that I just got the other day, and it has some bones in it. So I basically chopped up the chuck roast that I had to sort of mirror the size of the goat meat, just to make sure that they cook evenly. So those are the ingredients. I'm going to get my pots prepped, and initially I had planned to do this in the Instant Pot because I looked at a lot of videos and recipes on that. But since this is my first time making this, I'm going to try it on top of the stove, which will need to cook about 3 hours, maybe less because I've chopped up the meat, and maybe it'll cook in less time and we can give it a go. So stay tuned, and while I get the pans prepped and show you the next process. Now I'm going to show you how I get the seeds out of the chilies. And I use a bowl just so they don't create a mess. But basically you remove the stem and you sort of shake. My chilies were a little dry, so I'm going to kind of break them open a little bit because I don't want to leave too many of those chilies in there. See all of that? I don't want all of that out. You can take some scissors and cut through these if you like. That look like mine are fairly easy to get out this way. Tap, make sure I get all that out. Now let me show you how I do, and I'll discard the stem. And here is my other chili, my ancho chili. I'm gonna get all the seeds out of that. Doesn't look like there's much in that end. But again, these are also a little dry, so I'm gonna kind of break it open because again, I don't want to get all those seeds that are coming out. Get that stem. Get the rest of those seeds out and discard. And so those are my chilies. I'm going to rinse them, and I'm going to bring this pot up to, I'm going to put the chilies, the tomatoes, the onions, the spice into the water, and bring that up to a boil and let it soak for about 20 minutes. And in the interim, I'm going to then also salt and pepper my meat and brown it before I add the sauce back to it. So stay tuned. Okay, so I've rinsed my chilies, and I'll let you see, and they're in the pot. One of the things I did notice, I'm gonna score the top of my tomatoes. That way I can, as they boil with the chilies, I can sort of take the skin off, and I'm hoping that that'll give me a smoother consistency when it comes to the sauce. After I score the tomatoes, I'm going to drop them in the pot along with the onion, and then I'm also going to add some of the black peppercorns you see there, and then I'll come back. Okay, I've rinsed my chilies. I've got my tomatoes and my onion in the pot with some water. Now I'm going to add my ground cumin. I also have my peppercorns in there. My thyme, my oregano, and I am going to put this on the back eye and bring that up to a boil and then let it simmer. In the meantime, I've also already salt and peppered my beef and goat, and I'm gonna sear it a little bit just to give it some color in the pan. So, add a little bit more olive oil to the pan. Bring that up to temperature and let that get hot. And I'm also going to add the garlic cloves to my chilies, tomatoes, onions, and spice blend. And as I said before, I'm gonna bring that up to a boil, then turn the heat back and let it simmer for about 15 minutes. In the interim, I'm going to sear my meat. So my pan seems hot. Yep, it's nice and hot. I just want to brown it a little bit. I don't want to cook it, but do want to get some color on the skin. And I don't want to overcrowd my pan, so I'll probably do this in batches, just so I get a nice color on the skin. I think I would also want to cover my pot so that way it can come up to a boil faster. I had these tacos because my goddaughter Slant, like me, turned me on to them from a local place here in DC, and I thought, oh my God, these are so good. And I love any kind of Mexican food, so I thought I'd give these a try and see if I can make mine taste as good as the ones she brought me a couple of weeks ago. But we'll see. I think I can get one more small piece right there. I'll brown these in batches, take them out, and once I take them out, I'll probably strain my sauce, but I'll show you all of that. But in the meantime, I'm just going to brown the meat in batches. As I indicated before, I scored my tomatoes before boiling them with the chilies, and the reason why is because it just makes it easier to take the skin off. And I think if you take the skin off, you will have a smoother sauce, is my belief, which is what I want. And I won't have to worry about probably having to strain it once I use my immersion blender to sort of blend it all together. And after I get everything blended, and with my, oh, this is a little tough. Okay, here we go. But anyway, so I believe in taking the skin off the tomato, and plus I'm gonna cut it up a little bit more just to make it easier for when I start the blending process with my immersion blender. I did kind of also chop up the half onion that was also in the boiling liquid. So now that I've done that, I am going to sort of stir everything around a little bit. Hopefully you can see that. And start blending with my immersion blender. And one of the things that I'm also going to do at this point is I'm going to go ahead and add my chipotle peppers with the sauce. And I'm going to add a little bit more of my, I'm actually going to add probably all of it. Add my broth, and that way if I need more, I can make more when I add my liquid back in. Here's my immersion blender. And I'm gonna start to blend. It's turbo button. Get this blended up. Come back once I have it all nice and smooth for you. Get this blended up and I'll come back when I have it all nice and smooth. So I'm finishing with the blend and I think it's about as smooth as I would like it. It took me longer than I thought I would using the immersion blender. But when I think about the mess of pulling out my blender and having to clean that up, doing it in this pot seemed a more effective way of doing it. And although it took longer than I anticipated. I also added a little honey to taste just to counterbalance some of the spice. So now that I think I've got this blended up to my liking, I'm going to turn the heat back on. And before I add my meat back in, I'm gonna taste it one more time. Make sure the braising liquid is to my liking. So let me get a tasting spoon. Put this in the sink. And then get a tasting spoon. Oh my God, that's good. I see why these, it's got the right amount of spice. Not too spicy. I think putting the honey in there helped tone that spice down. But I'm gonna add my meat back into the pot, and as you can see, it's browned pretty good. I don't think I'm gonna have to go 3 hours braising it on the stove because, again, I've cut my pieces relatively small and seared them really well, which there still needs to be cooked so they can get really tender and shreddable. So let me just make this up that way I can get all the juices in the meat and the pot as well. So I'm just gonna add all of that back into the pot. Give that a stir, make sure everything is covered. I think I have enough liquid because it looks like all the meat is pretty submerged. Now I'm going to add my cinnamon stick, my 3 bay leaves, and I've seen different opinions in recipes and online about whether or not to add a carrot. I think I will, so I've got, you know, a carrot here that I'm gonna submerge in here because I think it'll give it a nice flavor. I'm gonna bring this back up to a boil, so I have it on medium high right now. Then once it comes to a boil, I'm gonna put the lid on it. Well, actually, I'm gonna put the lid on it now, bring it up to a boil. But once it comes to a boil, I'm gonna back the heat down to low. And we'll start with the first hour and see how tender it gets after the first hour. And during that time, or at the latter part of that time, I'll chop up my other onion. I've got the cilantro already chopped, and get my corn tortillas ready. Hopefully I have a nice bed of oil on this because you're supposed to dip the tortilla in some of the oil that comes off of the braising liquid. So we'll see. Stay tuned. Well, my meat is cooked and I have taken it out of the braising liquid, and I am going to chop it up to get it ready for some tacos. I've taken the bone out of most of it anyway. I'm not gonna chop. This is a lot. I'm not going to chop, but it just tastes so good. It tastes better than what I tasted a couple of weeks ago from this Mexican place. So first I'm gonna try pulling it apart with a fork, and as you can see, it's fork tender. And then I may take my knife and chop it up even further, especially some of the tougher fat pieces, because that's that's all fat. I don't want that. Anyway, I'm gonna pull. Oh God, it smells so good. I'm gonna chop this up so we can have tacos. As you see, I've got my corn tacos, my guac cheese, the oil that I'm gonna dip those in, and then I've got my celery. Not my celery, my cilantro and white onions to garnish with my tacos. So let me just get at least half this meat sort of chopped up and pulled apart. Then I'll come back and start making some tacos.